Hi, good morning, good evening, as per your time zone. I'm Kumkum Sharma and I'm back again in live open session episode 45. What is this live open session? It's a Q&A session, and whatever questions you have, you can ask your questions. Our expert, Mr. Saket Bansal, is with us and he'll definitely answer all your queries. So, this is the episode 45. We have already done with the successful 44 episodes of this session. It's always the agenda is driven by you, not by me. So, whatever your questions, you can ask, how you can ask. There is the comment section. No matters whether you're watching this from YouTube or LinkedIn, just post your questions in the comment box. Your question can be anything, your right certification, right training, best certification for your growth, anything. So, Saket, thank you very much joining me again on this session. And how you want to start, Saket, this session?
Okay, so we start by waiting a little bit, yeah, and we explore that how people turn up. I think it was a gap of 1 week. Last week we did Instagram live, not the YouTube live, and this week we are doing YouTube live. Yeah, so that's all. I believe that it's a final last month of the year. I do see a lot of people planning to finish their learning goals which they have created for their year, especially in the PMP certification space. I see a lot of interest so that people want to get it finished in the year 2022 alone. There are other small learning programs as well. If you have made some learning goals, you still have time. It's still 20 days left. So, in case you want to finish some of your certification programs, you can check some of the schedule. We do have a schedule for leading safe, CSM, CSPO, advanced scrum master, advanced product owner, all those things is there. Good. Yeah. So one of the participants sharing that he got some help from the previous conversations to clear the business analyst interview. Great. Congratulations. Yeah. Uh, Hopefully that will also help you in executing the work once you start working there. So thank you for sharing here. So yeah, so we have all these program coming in, Safe Advanced Scrum Master as well. So if anything which can help you in growing, again, there are hundreds of certifications. You only need to do the one which helps you in growing. And here we are to help you to find that one rather than doing anything from random place. Yeah. So that's is something here. Okay, looks like the business analyst is becoming a theme for the day. Okay, so which certification is best for a lead business analyst for heavy who has a 6 years of experience in the IT industry, but I am purely into functional role, no coding skills. So usually the business analysis role is the functional role, domain role, rather than the coding role. And what we see is that in the Scrum world, business analysts grow as a product owner. So if you see that possibility of working in the product management space, you may want to do product owner. So we need to see in which environment you are working. Business analyst working into the environment of product company where you have a dedicated area to work on and set of product, maybe the business line remains the same. Then getting into the domain expertise and product management space, opportunities are more. So you can get into that area. But if you are working into the service company where your assignments keeps changing, the domain keeps changing, you just focus on doing system level analysis as per the new requirement, and then you tend to not get that deep understanding of any particular domain because you keep shifting from one area to another area. So in those case, yeah, you probably want to get into project management area when you are doing business analysis in a changing situation. But if you are stick to agile ways of working, getting into the product management space is a good idea. Now from a product ownership, product management space, if you are working in a scrum space, as I see in the follow-up comment, the good starting certificate is certified scrum product owner. And the Scrum Alliance also has the advanced certification path for product owner. The advanced certified Scrum product owner program is one of it. which we are doing incidentally this particular month as well, because it's a little rare program, not frequently getting scheduled. So in general, your core skill will be understanding and knowing what business really need, what the stakeholder users really need. And for that, it's more about developing empathy, doing domain study. Then there will be other set of skills which is more about communicating to the developers and engineers. So for that, you need to focus on tools like user stories, features, acceptance criteria, functional acceptance criteria, non-functional acceptance criteria, doing user journey maps, so that you can communicate all those things well to the development teams and grow. So the second part, which is more communicating part and analyzing the flow and all those things, will get covered by way of doing Scrum Product Owner as well as Scrum Advanced Product Owner certifications. Yeah, so that's what I can suggest here. Yeah. The next January CSPO class, I think we should have a schedule by now in Jan, but we'll just put it back in the chat here. Probably if we can have a schedule ready for the January. Yeah, yeah. So that's something we can explore. Okay, so Certified Scrum Product Owner and Advanced Scrum Product Owner. Now we move to the second question, like I'm working as a transition manager, any certification for me to recommend? Now, what I sense is that your role is more about moving one way of working, transitioning new services, and getting things ready for a new set of users. So say there is a old way of working or some process is there, and then you want to move to the new way of working. So that's the probable working as a transition manager. If that is the case, yeah, then I focus on that you may explore and learn more and more about change management, because in the process of doing transitioning, you end up facilitating the change. If that is a part of your work, then probably you may want to focus on change management related programs. Now in the agile way of working, in our general standard way of working, the change management is associated with agile coaching, yeah, agile transitioning space. So we do have few certification programs which helps you in getting understanding of the change and transformation transition when it comes to agile context. So if you see that the your current experience and the knowledge and competency related to agile change management, agile transitioning management, can help you in positioning yourself into a change agent coaching facilitation kind of profile, then you may want to explore some of the agile coaching certification. I can share few to start your study with. There's a one program called ICP ACC, which is like IC Agile Coaching Program, which is primarily to understand the team level coach work. Then there is another program which is on transitioning or transformation space alone, which is called ICP CAT. So these two programs you can check on our site and get some details around that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So CSPO, as of now, we just have this Christmas batch published. I think in a next few days, you will see the January batch also coming up. And once it comes up, you can enroll to it and start exploring around that. So both of you who asked for a Jan batch, you should get it soon. Yeah. Next week alone. Okay. In a data migration projects, if there are, say, more than 1,000 projects to be migrated, yeah, then it is advisable to create a user story as a project level. If yes, tracking that volume of work and any suggestion. Now, my view, yeah, is that user story is not necessarily is the only mean to develop incremental or deliver things incrementally. Majority of the time, user story work as a great tool when we are focusing on user centric requirements. But if your requirements are not user centric, yeah, like you have a backend work where the data migration is happening, or a good percentage of your requirements are not user centric, where a particular user flow is difficult to see end to end, then you not necessarily put those ideas into user story format. Yeah. So the idea of user story is we have a user role and persona in mind, and they want to achieve some particular goal. Now, if you can say that if I migrate set of data the user will be able to see the historical performance of one particular domain. Then it makes a user story sense that, okay, I want to see the past 1 year information for my sales, which helps me in getting something done. If you have that kind of slicing possible, then you probably do that. But many times, if it's a data migration project, it may not be focusing on one user flow at a time. It might be focusing more on technical, which probably needs a set of data moving from one stage to another stage, and which will get validated with the set of multiple reports. So I'm not sure how well the user story way of working will fits into just pure data migration project. Yeah. So again, we need to just find out how we identify the things which help us in doing incremental and iterative working. So the essence of user story or essence of agile way of working is how fast we can close the feedback loop. So you start something, you finish that, and you ensure that that finishing also get validated by taking feedback from appropriate stakeholders. So that's the objective. And user story way of working helps us in achieving that objective when we have a user-centric requirement. But when we don't have a user-centric requirement, we need to find out what are the other possible ways which help us in keeping our validation cycle small. Rather than saying that I am for a 1 month, I am just putting step 1 and step 2 and step 3, then it might not be that much profitable. Yeah. Okay, so that's a user story in data migration. Okay, is the SAFe Agilist certification good to start working in SAFe based in program where the person is new to SAFe and having some knowledge about CSM concepts? So if you know Certified Scrum Master program, you already have an understanding of what is Agile, what is Scrum, and how it operates. Now, if you want to understand what is SAFe and how it solves the large scale development problem, or how it aligns the business strategy to execution, and you want to understand the SAFe in totality, then leading SAFe program or a SAFe Agilist with SAFe Agilist certification is a best program for anyone with this particular requirement. Most of the people end up doing that particular program to understand the SAFe. Now, the good part is it explains you the SAFe. The another part which is little you need to consider is it is not focused on a particular role. So the leading SAFe assumes that you have not yet started working on SAFe. Yeah, so you are getting ready to work on SAFe. There are other programs which assumes that you're already working on SAFe. Like when you have a particular role identified, say I want to work as a Scrum Master in a SAFe context, then they have a Scrum Master programs. When you want to learn how do I do a product ownership work in the SAFe context, then they have a product owner program. But usually when you already know about your role as a certified Scrum Master and you have a fair understanding of Scrum Master, and you just want to understand how the SAFe operates, in that case, leading SAFe is a good idea. So I see Kumkum sharing that we have a 21st, 22nd January as a CSPO. I think the website will get updated soon. So that's the program details. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so thank you for keep watching our videos. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Prasad. Yeah, so that's a good. And you can connect. You can connect with us over a LinkedIn or a YouTube. You can drop me an email as well, saket.bansal@eisenbridge.com. Usually, it's easy to visit our website and find details and drop a message, whatever specific query you have related to your certification or any particular query. Yeah. Okay, so Safe Scrum Master certification we are doing this month. I think we do have a Safe Scrum Master certification happening this month. You may wanna just check out the schedule. If I am not wrong, it's happening next week. Yeah, so that's the thing. I am parallelly checking the schedule as well. So the Scrum Master as of now is scheduled on 20th and 23rd December, 20 to 23rd December. It's if you are in India, then it's a morning program for you. It's a morning around I see around 4 hours, yeah, every day. Yeah, and then if you are in the US, then it will be evening for you. Yeah, so it's a nice 4-day spread program. and you can just visit our website to find this detail. Okay. Yeah. So Safe HL list we are starting this weekend. Yeah, which is Sunday, and our upcoming Safe weekend is spread across 2 weekends. So we do one session for 5 hours this Sunday, and then we do the last two sessions upcoming weekend. So that's the another program which we are heading towards. Yeah. Okay, so we spoke about business analysis, we spoke about CSPO, we explored the coaching and change management and transitioning related stuff, and we also explored a little bit about safe certification suitability, leading safe versus others, and we shared some of the dates of our upcoming safe programs. So that's something has been covered till now in the last 20 minutes around, yeah, 15 minutes around. Great. So do we have another session this year, or this is the last session of the year, Kumkum? So the scheduled session is on 23rd. I don't know, it's going to be a Christmas weekend though. Yeah, so we'll figure it out. Yeah, it's going to be our probably the last session of the year, and then we start again later. Let's see. Yeah. So that's what I am sensing, most probable thing. But depending upon if we have a lot of queries still coming in during the week, then probably we'll do it, else we do in the new year. Yeah. So that's something we can explore. Okay, so here is the pause. In case you have any questions, feel free to put it in your chat box. YouTube, LinkedIn, it will reach us. Any sharing is also okay. I will read out for you. We do Instagram live where you can come and speak as well in case you want to. If you have some specific experience to share, let us know, and then we take it there. So the Leading Safe 24th, 25th is a classroom program. Yeah, so that's something as of now it's a classroom program. It's not online. Yeah, if I am right. Or we have another program, Kumkum, on a December also we have another program, Safe.
Yes, we do have that 23rd and 24th.
Mhm. So we have another 23rd and 24th. So there are two options for this month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to drop us an email, connect with us. Our sales team will help you to find out suitable option for you. And the sooner we have set of videos which you can get started with without even enrolling, and those videos can help you to get ready with your preliminary preparation, so that in the class it doesn't get too heavy. It's a little heavier than your CSM class. If you are coming from CSM, you can say it's like around 1.5 times a little more material than your CSM class, so it becomes little heavy, yeah, sometime.
So today the more discussion is around the certification, our certifications.
I know. Yeah.
So I think due to the year end, people are just looking for the trainings more. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so the question is coming is, I agree, user story is not the way or only way of delivering incremental, but we have to share burn down velocity to the client as a metric to show use our work. What can we use in to log effort for a technical migration and all. So the Scrum way of working is focusing on that we need to have a product backlog items, and product backlog items can be estimated, and you can prepare your burn down chart, velocity chart, and whatever you want to do the way you want to. It's not necessary focusing on writing that as a user I want to do something. Yeah, it's not necessary. So yes, you need to have some mechanism of sizing whichever way or a container you take the requirement in, which are small, say use case base or a technical exploration base. You define that this is how we will collect the items, and there has to be some amount of sizing. Yeah, sizing to see what is working and what is not working. In general, yes, the burn down charts and velocity charts are great to share as a metric, but as we learn in our agile way and as well as practical also, the working increment which we produce is the first measurement. So if we figure it out, what will be the composition of the increment which get delivered at the end of a time box, and how do we show the difference in the previous increment and the next increment, and how can we see what has been added since then we can focus on how do we quantify what has been added. So if you have a clarity to demonstrate the incremental work, then the reverse calculation can be done in order to get the container for it. But if you feel politically or whichever way people wants to have a term called user story for it, it's perfectly okay. Yeah, you may just say it's a different type of story. Maybe you call it migration story or something rather than call a user story, or you may like do whatever name story. But migration story or something is also okay if you see that current PMOs and current processes find it easy if they can equate everything as a user story. Yeah, so that's something is our internal management thing. Yeah, my only advice is not to write that as a developer I want to do something, or as a something. Then it will become like, okay, how do we validate that developer did something? Yeah. So better we focus on something which can be incrementally demonstrated, and that entity which can see that incremental work, that could be your driver of the requirement. If that entry is a user, then it could be a user story also. Okay, so that's the thing here. Like in some of our consulting space, when we are working with some of the banks and all, there is always a complication when it comes to compliance stories, compliance work, and putting the compliance work in a user story format sometimes becomes more complicated than useful. So we need to discover that, okay, what is the right way, because there is no particular persona who is going to see these things happening. But yeah, we have a structure. If we see that there is a alternative mean which can help us in dealing those situations a little better, then we follow that. Yeah, that's something we do, rather than sticking to something called as a auditor or as a compliance user I want to do something. So sometimes it becomes a little tricky. Yeah. Okay, so great. And people who are exploring the user stories and all, for Scrum Masters, I keep saying in most of my sessions, this is one of the important skills, not only for business analysts and product owners alone, but also for the Scrum Masters. The more and more Scrum Masters are asking for having clarity on ability to write user story and all. Yeah. So can we use a task instead of a user story or something else in the Jira? Yes, you can use. So from a Jira perspective, you have a entity called issue, and you have a issue type. Yeah. So whatever type you create, that's up to you. For them, it's the same one row of a work. Yeah. And you can call whatever you want. So yeah, many times you may want to have a term user story attached to it, or sometime you want to have a defect attached to it, sometime you want to have a task attached to it, sometime you want to call it epic, but for them it's just one entity in their work items. So yes, the only difference here is that the idea of task is not compatible with idea of a backlog. So idea of task is more compatible with the sprint backlog, not with the product backlog. So the product backlog should have something which can be understood by the business users. So when you are demonstrating your product increment at the end of iteration, you can show it that which backlog item is visible where, like many backlog item may got done. Yeah. So you want to show that. Whereas a task is something you are doing in order to reach to that particular space. So you may not have to give a status report of a one particular person what all they have done. You need to talk about the language which your business stakeholder can understand. So now the product backlog should have the entities, the elements which are commonly understood by greater set of audience. And usually we don't equate that with the task. We equate task with more with the element which is more understood by the development team. Yeah, because they are more detailed and technical in nature. So task may be in the language of technology, whereas developer level technology, whereas a product backlog item should be on the language of product owners and stakeholder. Yeah, so that's the little differentiation we need to put into. Okay. Okay, so interesting question. As a Scrum Master, how do you track your team member day-to-day task? So see, if that question is coming in the interview, it's a very risky question. You should not say that I track my team members' day-to-day task. So now we need to understand the idea here is if I want to track somebody's task, then I need to know what is the meaning of task, and I probably need to be more expert than that particular person who is doing the task. So when we are working from a management setup where the manager is super expert and the executors are just performing the task, in those kind of management space or a team space, tracking the task becomes a responsibility of a manager because the task is also assigned by the manager. So I create something, I give it to you, then I ask you, is it done or not done? Because I know what it should have been done in this much time. I need to find out what is working and what is not working. Now, in the Scrum world or in the modern world, where we have a situation where managers may not be that much aware about the details of the work the people are doing. They may not be sure that this is going to take 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 5 day, and all. So we want to give our team members more facility, more empowerment, so that they can explore and create their own task. And we want to create a structure where the tasks or work are transparently shared. So I need to say that if I have to focus on a scrum master focusing on team members thing, so I will focus on how do I ensure the team's tasks are transparently visible to each other, to me also, to each other also. And my focus is not to make myself visible and ask you that you have done it or you have not done it or why you have taken more time, but rather make these people discuss it, what is happening and what is not happening. Because more than me, these people may know as a group more about this particular work, this particular progress. So as a scrum master, I need to make my team members task visible, transparent. How do I do that? I may use various tools like Jiras and all. I ensure we have a ground rule that we create that work before we really execute it. And then the super transparency tool which Scrum gives is a daily Scrum. So daily Scrum is a place where we need to ensure that team members are talking about sharing their progress and sharing their issues. Yeah, so that's something a Scrum Master should focus on. Now, it doesn't mean that Scrum Master has no role to grow people and provide feedback and have a conversation with the team members. You may have your monthly, weekly, one-on-one conversation where we explore how things are going, and you may do coaching to the team members so that they can identify how they probably need to do things differently. But that's like a feedback conversation, not necessarily always driven by that you have done 3 things, you must have 4 things. It's more about, okay, what kind of work you are working on and what kind of work might be more suitable for you, where you are performing and where probably you are not performing, and we need to find out what do we do about it. Yeah, so that kind of conversation definitely can be done on a periodic basis, and one can identify the periodicity of that particular conversation. So don't track, make the work visible, and make the team share that work on the regular basis, and you ensure that everybody can see their work together with the help of tools like Jira, or if you are face to face, maybe some physical boards. Usually we call it Kanban boards, digital Kanban boards, or visual Kanban boards, whichever work in your space. Okay, so that was an interesting question. I
And
was
what
just
should be the answer if this is the interview question?
Yeah, so same. So we need to make the work visible. I am responsible for ensuring feedback, but I am not necessarily responsible for giving feedback myself alone, because I may not be smart enough, time I may not have all knowledge enough to give a feedback. And if I am the only one who is giving the feedback, then again we are creating single point of failure. If I miss giving that feedback, the whole team will collapse. So in order to create a high performing and creative teams, as an approach, I should create a mechanism where things are visible rather than things are only visible to me. Yeah. So that's the change the new management structure is bringing in, where we don't want manager to become a risky thing. Because if the manager only knows it, then what if the manager is not performing well? Yeah, then the whole team will collapse. So the organization want to de-risk themselves from just one person's skills. They want to have little wider spread of their risks. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So that's the whole idea here. We wait for a few minutes and then we move. Yeah. So what we see here is that our project management people are also getting worried about the PMP exam nowadays. But I was expecting that we spend more time talking about PMP in our Instagram live rather here, because there I primarily focusing on the preparation for PMP certification more, because that requires more deeper study, frequent analysis and all. So we spend there. Okay, so looks like we are done with the Q&As. Maybe we wait for a few more minutes, Kumkum, and then we probably close if it's all good till here.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, we have last few minutes. If you have any questions, just feel free to drop your questions in the comment box. We'll include your questions. Sakit will answer your questions.
So this session is getting recorded. Yeah, it is live already on your YouTube, wherever you are watching. So you can also have an option to go back and start seeing from minus position as well. But after we finish the conversation, then also you can check it. Yeah, it's a part of your YouTube channel wherever you are looking at. So we are all there. Okay, so we have a fantastic course on project management. Why one should go for PMP? Okay, that's I'm not getting the whole question, but is it like that? What is the benefit of doing PMP? If that's the question, then probably I can probably answer it. Yeah. So first thing is that each certification program is good for a particular target audience set of people. It's not like everybody should do it here and there. Yeah. Uh, now, if we want to focus on growing ourselves and learning about project management, we can do it with our management education, with our self study, by watching videos, whatever we want. Yeah. So it's always possible. Now that is something can be done. Now, why should you do a particular certificate? Yeah, you probably don't do until unless you start seeing a business need for it. So if you came to know about a certification named PMP, it means there was something about it. Now you need to see that is that particular something is relevant for me. Maybe when I see a job descriptions, I see this particular certification is coming in, then I do. Yeah. If I don't see that particular thing coming in, I don't do. Now, why people usually do, in our case, to get better value from it, better branding, better profiling from it. There is a way of looking at project management. That's what we teach in Agile World also. One is that what money I am spending, and another is what benefit I am getting. So I can't just make a decision based on how much money a particular thing takes. I need to, usually the people who do these certification and growth, they make a decision based on how much value I get from doing it. So if you see that by investing some amount of money in PMP, usually it becomes around, say, total $1,000 around, yeah, be it in India or anywhere, the training, certification, and all, it's around $1,000 expense. If you see that by investing $1,000 in a year, I can make return of more than $3,000-4,000 in a 1 year time alone, and it also gives a foundation for my future, which may give me $100,000 return. Many of our clients got more than 100,000 return from their PMP and the whole effort they put in. So that's the ROI, and the ROI is not of that $1,000 investment. It's the ROI of your time investment also. It's just not like I'm throwing $1,000 on something and I'm getting 100,000 in a return. You put a lot of your effort, which also valued, and that brings a result. So if you see that there is a business case, that's what we teach in project management. We need to initiate a project based on the business case. So if you have a business case, you do it. Not everybody will have a business case. It depends upon the type of experience you have. For example, if someone is working in US companies, they have a business case because the US people will recognize it. If someone is working in some companies where these things are not cared, people only care what you know, then it doesn't have a business case. Even if you do it, your the type of organization you work or you target to work, they don't even know what it is. Then what is the use of it? So probably we need to see our business case. Okay, so now, is it a Kanban good to have a part of SAFE program? That's the one question. Is the SAFE training going to happen? I am planning to do a SAFE certification. So one thing is that SAFE certification trainings are happening, many in this particular month from our side. We are doing 2 leading SAFE program this particular month, and we are doing many SAFE Scrum Master and Advanced Scrum Master program. So please visit our website isandbridge.com. You will get the idea. Yeah, now coming back to Kanban. What is SAFE? SAFE is founded on the idea of Agile, the idea of Lean and Kanban, idea of DevOps, and many ideas of product development and overall portfolio and alignment management concepts. So the Kanban or the ideas of Kanban are used extensively in a scaled agile framework. At a team level, we have a Kanban board. At a program level, at a portfolio level, wherever we are working, yeah, we have a Kanban board. Yeah, so that's there. Now, SAFE uses Kanban in a particular way. Kanban can be used in varieties of way. And when we go for a SAFE certification, we only see the way SAFE uses the Kanban. We don't probably end up seeing the whole Kanban. And a part of the assumption is that if people want to know whole, they probably have a existing understanding, because we are not going to learn the foundations of Kanban and design Kanban board, creating class of services, creating explicit policies in a programs like Leading Safe. Yeah, it may be coming in other programs when you go for smaller team level board. When you have particular board, you can spend time there. So Kanban is included in all SAFE programs at an extent which is suitable for SAFE way of working. But if you want to learn Kanban from an independent perspective, with SAFE, without SAFE, or Kanban as a theory alone, then Kanban University programs, we call it KMP1, KMP2, are the good one. And in general, for the good use of SAFE, one should have a good understanding of general management, like a project management, product development management, general management, agile, and Kanban. Yeah. So you can start your learning with the SAFE, but ultimately you need these 3 foundational fundamentals in order to make best use of SAFE concepts. So good idea to pick up Kanban before or after or along with your SAFE programs. So one other question, how important is it to renew certifications like PMP? Now, the whole idea of renewal is all about your business case. See, whatever you have learned. You can learn without certificate, and you have learned it, even your certification is expired, that you got it. But when you put your profile, when you put your certification in a profile for someone's consideration, most of the organization will not consider if the certificate is expired. Yeah. So you need to see what is my target audience, what is my experience level. It's possible that I may have done PMP 10 years ago, now I am in a leadership space, and I know the position I am in or the next position I am going to go, nobody is going to hire me or reject me just because I don't have a PMP or any particular certification. So if you have passed through that particular band, then it doesn't matter. Yeah? Or a CSM also, or a leading safe also, if you have passed through that band, then why to care for it? Because certification usually help from middle to senior management, but beyond senior management, certification will have a least value. Your experience, your references, your work will speak more, not the certification. So if you're passing that, then you may not even mention any certificate you have done till now. But if you see a need of mentioning your certificate, then why to mention or expired certificate? Because if some HR will go into validation, they will say this is not valid, we don't want to have it. Now, I had a very interesting comment from one of our customer, yeah, and I understood how these HR people and procurement people might see these things. He said, you don't want to let a person flying the aircraft where his pilot license is expired, or you don't let anyone drive the car when their driving license is expired. So how can we let someone run a project where his project management certification is expired? I said, okay, thank you. You gave me some idea how the HR people might think. So many times these people may not have an understanding. They don't want to get into the details. They just know, is it a valid or invalid? So the policeman stopping you on the red light may not take a test of you how well you drive. Yeah, they just see that your driver license is valid or not valid. So if you are still falling into that area, then you probably maintain the driving license, which is valid. But if you have a driver to drive and you are sitting behind, then you don't have to show a driving license anymore. Then you don't care for your driving license to be renewed. Yeah. Okay. So interesting conversations. So yes, we do have various ideas here. So recording is available. I saw that Jira ticket is done. We had the project management certification option conversation is also done. Yeah. And PMP will not cost you 30,000. It is going to cost you around 60,000 overall, minimum 50,000. Yeah. Overall things, until unless you only consider the exam fee alone. Yeah. Okay. So this all. So one of the thing which we keep discussing, talking in our safe classes, they have a specific mentioning of it, that we need to focus on economics. And many time there is a judgment we have to make. There is a price to pay. There is a benefit to come. One of the economic parameter, which is price to pay or expense to make, is very clearly evident. It's in front of you. You know this is going to cost me this much. That is pretty much estimatable. But what benefit you will get out of it is not pretty much estimatable. It's a guessing game. You may think it will give you value, but it may not give you value at the end. Yeah. So in a business as well as in our learning, we need to put our returns by way of putting the guess what I can get out of it. A short-term gain, the long-term gain, the change in my profiles, and how much money I can put without having clear idea of a gain also, because not everything can be known in the beginning itself. So sometime I may get into entry level certification like certified scrum master and all, just to get my foot inside this whole formal education space. And then I decide that, okay, is it helping me to move forward? If yes, I put more. If not, I say, okay, that was a good experiment. And that's what we teach in our lean startup word or MVP word or agile word, that, okay, experiment, put something, see if you got returns. If you are not getting returns, validate what is going wrong. Maybe you have not put enough effort, or maybe you have not done the right program, maybe, or maybe in your profile, in your experience, these things doesn't matter anymore. Maybe, yeah. So we need to validate, but in order to validate, we need to know, we need to have some facts in hand. Just doing discussions probably will not give that validation. Yeah. So my recommendation, the new year is coming in. If you have not yet started investing in your education and building your future growth, and I'm clear that just certification is not the only way of investing in your future and career growth. You have to do various other things like competency building and all, but this is also one of the thing, and I believe it's the easiest thing. The building of competencies and other things takes more time and effort from you, maybe less money but a lot of time and effort. But this is relatively, you get somewhere, you get something, and probably you start making return of it. Yeah. So economics, but also looking at the economics of returns, not only looking at economics of expenses alone. Yeah, else it will be difficult to get something new. Yeah. Okay, so I think we are good. So we conclude. Kumkum, I think it's
Yes,
about
yes,
time.
we can. And yeah, I think the awesome session, and I really like the example of that license. It's up to you. You want to renew or not renew. And yeah, guys, don't forget to take your New Year resolution. Okay, we'll all upgrade ourselves, training, certification, but learning is important. So we'll all learn new things. So yes, upgrade yourself, learn new things, whatever way you are finding. So it's not only the training and certifications, but learning is important. So my New Year resolution is I learn more, I read more. So that's great, great session, guys, and we'll be back again. So I'm not sure, whether we'll be back on the December for the, because the frequency of these session is second Friday of the month and the fourth Friday of the month, and the fourth is 23rd. So I think we can conduct the fourth Friday session also. So yeah, we'll be back on 23rd of December now. Am I right, Saket?
Yeah, most probably. Yeah, we'll see. We'll take a call because it's the Christmas weekend. But yeah, if we have a response, we will see. We will see during the week how it is. And the recording is the same. Wherever you are watching it on a YouTube, this thing will remain there. Yeah, you can just go back and watch it. It's a live
Yeah.
session, so it's already recorded. Yeah, so there was a comment, where is the recording? This is the link where you are. Here is the recording. You just need to refresh once we end it. It will take you in the beginning. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So yeah, I think good place to close the session, and wanted to discuss, because the people were discussing about the training sessions. So wanted to just give the very quick heads up about the January. In the beginning of the January, we have agile coaching. In the mid of the January, we have agile transformation, the cat ICP cat certification training with Saket. So guys, do check our website, and if you have any questions, if you want to discuss something with me, I am very answer the questions on LinkedIn, and you can ping me on the sales at Eisenbridge also. So I also have the access of that email. If you have any query, just post there, I'll answer your questions. And bye for now. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the winter.